Hello everybody, this is Brazen Spirituality on Avatars Radio, and right now we are in Kingsport, and we have a class that is being presented by Net of the Guild 4B on combat. So if you are interested in attending, now is a perfect time to make a quick zone, and the participant here with the easiest name would be Themo space Lock. Zone 2 Themo space Lock. And now let's see. Net is saying hello all and welcome to the first R16 class of the newly founded Novian Academy. And I will be reading everything he says to you just in case you aren't there. It's also being recorded by Arianna. So theoretically there will be a video of this class later. Some of you might think these lessons are about PvP. They are not, with the exception of the last lesson, which is indeed about PvP. They are about combat and general rules in fighting. I may mention PvP, but I will try to provide you with tips that work everywhere. Please welcome my wonderful assistant, Gaelis Trajan. Hopefully I didn't muddle that name too badly. It could be Trajan, but I'm sure it's not Trojan, so I'm just saying. Welcome, Gaelis Trajan. She is an awesome support fighter. However, she is best known for being a master decorator. She is also a great crafter, and she has a decoration shop open in Paxlair. And she says, "It is nice to see you all." Net says, and she is rather good writer as well. You can find a book written by her somewhere in the New Britannia. And applause, applause, the crowd goes wild. Net says, "My name is Net, and you probably know I won a few tournaments and scored rather high in others. I failed a few too. If you want to be a good fighter, you must be like Phoenix. You must be reborn after every fight. You must analyze your mistakes and learn from them. Every time you lose, there is something you did wrong. Sometimes you cannot do anything about it and have to accept the fact that sometimes you lose. More often than not, there is something you should change in the future." And yeah, I'm editing just a couple of adjectives and adverbs where necessary to make the sentence flow just a smidgy bit better. But otherwise, I'm not censoring. Alright, and Net says, "The point I'm making here, I was not always good, yet I have risen again and again. When everyone was melee, because that was the way that people could deal the most damage, at the time, I used ranged mage build." I tried to be pure mage a few times too, and those builds were viable, though a single mistake made the difference between life and death. However, it was me who had to do the mistake, not my opponent. I was in the control, and when magic became viable, I quickly learned how to get really effective with it. Every release has been different, yet I was constantly between the top PvPers. Why? Because there are some universal rules which I want to share with you. It does not matter which spell is the most effective. It depends on whether you know when and how to use it. You know, that's actually really true. Just saying. Net says, "Once again, welcome to the Ministries of Combat lesson from Novice to Master." More cheering. Yay! Yay! Come on, Net, say something. I can't vamp that good. Okay, Net says, in this lesson, I want to share 10 tips and rules with you before we get to more advanced stuff in the upcoming lessons. Rule number 1, and I have to agree with this one emphatically, make friends, not enemies. This is an awesome rule. This is the most important rule, Net says, standing high above all other rules. You should remember it well. It is rather simple. If you attack everyone and everything, you will end up alone, surrounded by enemies. No matter how good you are, there I go. No matter how good you are, there is always someone better, and you should not want to face them alone. Also, friends will help you to practice. They will support you when you need it. They will train with you. You will learn from them, and they will learn from you. Sometimes they may get better than you. Sometimes you will get better. But you always should be there for them, because then they will be there for you, and without them, you will be alone. Lone targets are easy prey. Again, sage words of advice there. Net continues, then again, you should not try to be friends with evil. That will break all the bonds with the good, and you will end alone in the end. Sometimes you must accept your enemies, and you can actually make more friends if you know where you stand. Come on, type faster, Net. Type faster. You can do it. Go, Net. Go, Net. Go, Net. Okay. Rule number 2. If you fall, rise up again, stronger and better. Every defeat you will suffer should be a lesson for you. There was something your opponent did right and something you did wrong. Calm down, stop accusing everyone of unfair fighting, and think how to get better. Net says he's typing as fast as he can. Yes, in case anybody didn't know, there is always a 30-second delay between what I say and what you hear, so sometimes the commentary back and forth between me and the people in game will be a little laggy. Let's see. Rule number 3, die another day. If you run away today, you can run away tomorrow. Sometimes the odds are against you. There is no point in fighting battles you cannot win. Find a way out. Fight where you have the advantage. It may sound like cowardice, but dead people cannot win any fight. They cannot save anyone. Self-sacrifice can be very powerful, but it has to have meaning. False courage will not help anyone. Rule number B. Oh, I missed that. That was rule number 3A, that if running away. So 3B is, if you hide today, you can hide tomorrow. Stealth is a very important part of fights. It can save your life, but it can also be doom for your opponents. Yet you can also use it to avoid a fight altogether. Rule number 4, practice makes perfect. Or better, as Amber is saying. Come on. Type faster, Net. Type faster. Go, Net. Okay. There is hardly more fitting saying for fighters. It is really true. The more you practice, the better you get. The key here is to make practice that prepares you for your goal. If you get best at killing chickens, that is great, so long as you want to be a cook. If you want to become a great fighter, you need challenging practice. And it does not have to be fighting only. Moving around is very important as well. The best practice is the one where you are losing, because you can easily identify your mistakes and learn from them. Getting effective at slaughtering chickens will not help you improve. Getting slaughtered by a horde of liches will. Nice, Net. You can easily measure whether you are improving by the time you stay alive. Another practice I sometimes implement is fighting with multiple opponents. Once again, with friends it is easier. They can resurrect you. They can practice with you. Remember the rule number 1. Also, high levels help. Rule number 5. Knowledge is power. 5A. Know your enemy. Everyone has a weak side and a strong side. Get to know your enemy, because only if you truly know your enemy can you defeat them. When you are learning, winning may not be always what you want to do. If you want to get to know your opponent, you need to stall the fight, test their reactions under various circumstances, and perhaps you do not want to show them all your moves right away. Keep the element of surprise for when it matters. Rule number 5B, know your friends. Everyone has a weak side and a strong side. If you want to be successful in a group, let your friends do what they are good at and protect them when they are weak. Now see, that sounds more like me. Just saying. That's more my MO. 5C, know yourself. Hey, I was advanced. I got ahead of the class on that one. Everyone has a weak side and a strong side, even yourself. Without knowing yourself, you cannot become a great fighter. Yeah, for the record, I will never be a great fighter. I'm just saying. Okay, that continues. You need to work on your weaknesses, for that is what your enemies will try to exploit. However, even more important is for you to work on your strengths, because that is how you can defeat them. Not being weak is not as good as being strong. Get stronger, faster, whatever makes you better and gives you an edge. Hone those skills you are good at. To sum it up, to survive, you need to work on those skills you are bad at, but to win, you need to work on those skills you are good at. Pause. Pregnant pause, I might add. Just saying, you know it's going to get better. And then Net says that I, just little old me, Brazen Spirituality, that I can become a great fighter just to keep coming to his lessons. I think he doesn't understand that I am impervious to that. Okay, Net says Rule 5D is to know the land. Terrain may provide you with various advantages, be it a cover, higher ground, or a choke point. Get familiar with the land and use it to your advantage. Okay, so even my lame self, I know to use choke points. About the others, I don't know if that works in game yet, but okay, anyhow. Net continues. Some styles require open field. Others work better with cover. Use what fits you best and your opponent's least. 6. Oya v Media. What? Speak English, male. Gosh, Net. Okay, 6A. Plan. Another pregnant pause as we wait for him to type furiously. That's right, furious typing is going on Net's computer as I speak. He continues. Every good fighter needs to be a follower of order. Looks for Amber's reactions. Where is Amber? Amber, if you are not here, shame on you, lady. Just shame on you. Okay, he continues. You need to plan the battles before they happen. Find the right equipment and train the right skills for them. Think in eventualities. What if my opponent does this? How will they react if I do that? What would I do to defeat myself? And in a group, the discipline and clear chain of command can be the difference between life and death. Rule number 6B is to improvise. Every good fighter also needs to be a follower of chaos. Things will never go as planned. Sooner or later, the unpredictable happens, and you need to be ready for that. Be ready for a change and adapt to it. The ability to adapt is what distinguishes the best fighters from the rest. Yeah, again, so not me, Net. I'm just saying. Okay, so simply put, Net continues, to win, you need both to plan and to improvise. Often, I observe my opponents and learn their tactics, how they move, whether they are strong at range or up close. I analyze the way and how they fight and prepare. Yet when I fight them, they sometimes come up with something new. I need to adapt on the fly, improvise. Use skills in a way I was not planning. Furious typing, Net, furious typing. Maybe I should talk slower. That's what I'll do. I'll talk slower for you guys. Hey, he clarified. Aurea Vimedia means golden middle path. Okay, wait, I'm reading slower now. Divide and conquer. Rule number 7 is divide and conquer. And if anybody tells me that I sound sexier by doing that, I'm going to smack them. I'm just saying. When you are fighting multiple opponents, target one. Taking the leader out may be hard, but even the dragon is harmless, more or less, without its head. By targeting the weakest opponents, you can get the numbers in your favor quickly. Yeah, I don't like talking that slow. It's awkward. Both strategies work well. The thing is, your opponents will try to do the same thing to you. Protect your leader and your weak members, or in extreme cases, use them as sacrifices. Wow, that is so nice of you, Net. Aw, I want to go hunting with you right now. Okay, he continues. Lure your enemies where you need them by offering them a apparently unprotected target. Yeah, right. Okay, so now everybody says that talking slow is sexy, and Net says he likes me talking slower because he can type more slowly and his fingers are burning. Poor Net. Okay. Wow. Rule number 8. Take the lead, which means get initiative. If you want to win, you have to dictate the rhythm of the fight. Force your opponent to react to you and do not let them take initiative. Only that way will you get to use your strengths. Only that way can you win. Come on, I don't have any vamp for that one. Jeez. And I talked more slowly. Rule number 9, Net says, the end justifies the means. Okay, I'm not saying that name. Samargerian Trizideris says, roll a 20 for initiative. Okay, maybe not. You know, I was totally thinking that. Thank you. Very nice. Okay, Net continues. Let me recap. Number 9, the end justifies the means. Why do you fight? You should not fight just to fight. Often to win, you do not have to crush your enemy. When they see you are stronger, they can yield. Let them. Why waste your energy on them? At other times, winning at all costs will often prove not worth all costs. Sometimes, it is better to avoid the fight. But remember, at other times, when you have nothing to lose, the fight is the only thing left to you. You may not win, but even a strong opponent will think twice before entering an unnecessary fight. Fighting can get expensive. Number 10. Find your own way. I have read in old scrolls that you need to study under 3 different masters before you can become one yourself. For if you study under only one master, you never learn everything they know. You can never match them and always remain their student. If you study under 2 masters, you will get as good as they are. You will get strong where they are weak, but you remain weak where they are strong. Studying under 3 masters will open your eyes, however. You will begin to understand the underlying patterns behind their teachings. You will no longer be limited by words, but you will understand the ideas behind them. Only at that moment will you see the great truth they see, and only then can you free yourself from their ways and find your own. The point here is learn from masters. Find a better player than you are and try to do what they do, but do not stop at just that. There will be another player, other players, better than you, who will do things differently. Combine different approaches. Find what suits you best. Make your own way that fits you best. You have different strengths and weaknesses than they do. Do not blindly copy them, but find what suits you best. Taking a quick sip while he's typing. Hang on. And he continues, well, that was a lot of words. But to sum it up, be strong, be fast, and be smart. Those are the key ingredients for a good fighter. And make friends. And he puts a smiley face with a wink. Hey, you better not be winking at me, Net. I'm just saying. He continues, Now for you to better understand these rules, I will explain them in an example. I will fight Gaelis, and then analyze the fight and apply the rules I mentioned before. Woody wants to know if this will be on the test. Yes, Woody, there will be a large test. It will take you hours, in fact weeks, to finish the test. Just so you're warned, Woody. And Caruso Garrett thinks that this makes them want to start an RP class, which I completely and wholeheartedly agree with. We need more RP in Strata the Avatar. Okay, wait, let's see if Net clarifies he was winking at the audience. Innocent wink. Sure, Net. I believe you. And and everybody's just talking like Goonie birds for a minute. Yep, that's right. You heard me. Goonie birds. I use really interesting slang terms. You'll learn to love it, I promise. Or, I'll just quit teaching because y'all heckled me to death. That could be too. Just saying, it could be. And let's see. Oh, they are battling. Oh my gosh, I totally missed them begin to battle. And the crowd is cheering, kill, kill, kill. That's really nice of you guys. And, Gaelis just got hit with a serious crit. Alright. Yeah, down Gaelis goes. That wasn't even fair. He, hammered her like a nail into a softboard. Maybe even hammering it into foam. Just saying. Okay, so apparently in some previous battle, they died simultaneously, according to the comments in the room, and they are disappointed that they did not, in fact, kill one another this time. But it was very clear that Net was the very clear winner on that one. Sorry to say. And Net congratulates Gaelis on a good fight, and Gaelis grins and says, good kill. See? Courtesy. Being polite and courteous, that goes so far. That should be rule number 22.5. Courteousness. Okay. Anyhow, Net says he got lucky. And Woody, who is commentating on their double elimination challenge last week, he says Net did get killed very unexpectedly. And Net says that luck is an important part of fights. And, yeah, so now, back to the rules. Yes, let's get back to that. Then I don't have to figure out what to say. I can read your words so much easier, Net. Be a buddy and a pal, that's what I'm saying. Help a girl out. Rule number 1, make friends, not enemies. See? I told you, courteousness. I totally agree. He said this fight was filled with examples of this rule. Gaelis accepted the duel even though she knew full well she would lose. Even though last week you lost? I'm just saying. Garian. Thank you! Now I know how to say your name. Garian. It doesn't look like that, but I will take your word for it. She said it was a good kill even though she lost, says Net about Gaelis, and it was true. And Gaelis keeps saying that rule number 3 is the important one. However, I have already plumb forgot because I am so nervous what rule number 3 is. Net resurrected her, and she would have resurrected him after the fight. And Net says he has improved in the last week. Just saying. It was a tie last week. Just saying. Themo says he feels guilty for not having res. Well, respect, Themo. Come on, suck it up, sacrifice a few points, and get res. It's the proper and courteous thing to do. I say so. Okay, so Net continues. Fights like these makes your bond grow stronger. I am sure Gaelis will agree with me. She is not the best fighter, but she is doing her best, and I will gladly fight on her side anytime. Rule number 2, if you fail, rise up again, stronger and better. And Net says that is what Gaelis is doing. She rises up after every fight. She is working on herself. She is not trying to be the best fighter under the sky, but she is still pretty good and improving. And I have to agree with that. I am like the permanently noob character. I just really will always be not very good. But I'm better than I used to be. So, you know, it's all relative. Okay, Net continues. Also, her true strength is not in 1 versus 1 duels. Her favorite role is that of support, even outside of the combat. It would be unfair to judge her for 1 versus 1 fighting. And for this, I have to completely and wholeheartedly agree because I prefer to be a healer and a reser. That's what I'm good at. That's my strength. And 1 versus 1 is something I will never be very good at. Net continues. Number 3, die another day. Pay attention, Brazen. Thanks, Net. I was listening. I swear I hang on your every letter and comma. He says, the mistake we did was accepting the duel. We knew someone was going to lose. However, there was conflict with much more important rule, the rule about making friends. And you should always give that rule a priority. Rule number 4, practice makes perfect. Indeed it does. I was practicing way more than Gaelis. That is practicing fights. When it comes to decorations, Gaelis is way better than me. She also practices decorating more than I do. You know, Gaelis and I might be like, you know, soulmates or brothers from another mother or something. Because, yeah, that's something else I'm really good at, is decorating and world building stuff. So, anyhow. Ha-da-da-da-da. Net continues. On a side note, he's a much higher level. Which means he's big fat cheater, pumpkin eater. I'm just saying. Number 5, knowledge is power. Well, as a matter of fact, Gaelis is my friend, and we know each other and ourselves quite well. I'm hanging on Net's every word, every letter, every comma. Come on, you can do it. Here he goes. Net says, I was pretty sure I would win. I have Douse in order to counter her fire magic. I have Death Touch to quickly heal, and Mind Wipe to have always useful glyphs in my hand. Aurea Vimedia, which is something about the golden middle path. Yeah. 6. A plan. He's recapping in case you didn't notice this. Just saying. Keep going, Net. Type, buddy, type. He was carefully planning his moves after the last week's duel and practicing. Yep, and you've gotten so good that you just smeared her into a little bloody speck on the ground. It was rude and mean, and poor Gaelis. Just saying. Okay, 6B. Improvise. Samagarian said that they recall that Net did not have Douse last time, so obviously Net has learned something new about fighting with Gaelis and picked up Douse. Haha. And Net says, that was the whole movement in the arena. He needed to act dynamically to reflect what Gaelis was doing, and I had good glyphs to allow me to do so. And then he says sorry to Gaelis, probably because of my comment about him making a little red smudge out of her. Rule number 7 is divide and conquer. This does not apply for 1 versus 1 fights. Obviously, because if you divide your one opponent, you've already won. Yeah, derp. Rule number 8, take the lead. What did we learn about that one? Pray tell, Net. He says, it is simple. I was actively moving to get the most of the glyphs I had in the hand. Kazenham obviously agrees with what I had said a moment ago on the 1 versus 1 thing, because Kevin says, if you have a sharp enough blade, it still applies. Yes, divide and conquer does apply if you have a sharp enough blade. No. Kazan cannot be echoing Amber because I don't think Amber's still here, and I certainly haven't seen her say anything in my chat screen. So if she is, she's whispering or something lame. Okay, so Net continues. 9 is means to an end, question mark. Net, why we fought? Because we are friends and to show you how to apply these rules. And number 10, find your own way. My way is an active movement and both ranged and melee attacks. I can fight up close or at large distance. Therefore, I can easily adapt to my opponents and hurt them where they are weak. Gaelis is more into heals and fire dots, which are damage over time, in case you didn't know the slang. And last time, she tied with me. And Samagarian says that Amber was essentially saying what Kazan had said, but at the last lesson, which unfortunately I missed, and this is apparently a repeat of. However, the next one should be a progression in his curriculum. So, Net continues. That should give you some food for thought until the next lesson next Friday at 20 o'clock UTC, 3 p.m. New Britannia time, where we will be discussing deck building. Thank you all for coming, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. And the crowd goes wild! Yay! And Net delivers a royal salutation to those nearby, and Luca Melahan has a question. Yes, question and answer session. You can't just end it. We need a question and an answer session. Come on, be nice. We might not understand everything. So, nope, Net, nope. I'm calling bull. We're going to have a question and answer session. You just have to listen to me. Question and answer session. Obviously, he's not listening to me, so I'm typing that in the chat window. So, yes, there we go. Ha ha ha. We will have a question and answer session now. Yay! By the way, everybody applauded furiously and cheered for Net and Gaelis for their performance as amazing one-on-one duelists. Apparently somebody's laughing with me instead of at me, but I don't know, maybe that's the way the emote works? Maybe maybe he's really laughing at me. Because I would be. Aww. And, we have about 15 minutes before the next event, which, in case you weren't paying attention to the events list, is Fire Lotus's R16 party. Woot! We're gonna rock it. It's gonna be awesome. And I will attend. Just saying, I'm gonna be there and party. Because I can. Alright. Luca, what's your question, Luca? Type your question. Luca wants to learn how to duel. Where can he find someone to help him or to practice with? Is anyone taking apprentices? Oh, wow. Awesome. Apparently, Luca needs typing lessons, too. I can't help you with that one. I am like the queen of typos, buddy. Sorry. Oh, goodness. It's funny. Roper says he was trying to bow at me, but the emote list moved as he clicked, and therefore he ended up laughing with me. And Woody says that Amber is still patching her game. Lame sauce. You could have done that yesterday or this morning while you were DJing, sweetie. I swear you could have. Okay. Nice. Roper appreciated the radio broadcast because it allowed him to work while not having to read the screen and still keep up with the class, which is awesome, and I'm glad I can provide that really, really minute service for you. Let's see. Net replies to Luca, at long last, that lots of PvPers like to practice. Just whisper him, or Archeon, or Bambino, and others. And Kazin. Oh my gosh. Really? Really, Kazin? He wants to know about next week's class. And he wants to know if the class on deck building will include lessons on front decks, back decks, or wraparound decks. And should we bring paint? Kazin, really? Just hang your head. That was just not nice. Jeez. He continues to say he thinks this is a clever ruse Net's using to make us remodel his house. Nice. Nice. Really nice. Okay. Bambino, whose full name, by the way, is Bambino Ludovate. Ludovate. And that's in case you want to add him for PvP practice. He says he has practically every PvPer on his friends list. He says we talk a lot, we set up time to practice, and then have a go at it. Net corrects Kazin the smart aleck and says it will be about combat decks. Duh. Samagarian says, I will paint everything white, which always throws people off, since I often wear all black. Right. Right. Nice. White structures, black clothes. Okay. Sure. And there's so much chatter, but nothing that really makes cohesive sense because everybody's got lag between what they hear and what they type and when it gets sent. And Carusin, Garrett, has slapped me in the face. I don't know why. I really don't. I mean, I know I can be a real jerk face, but I didn't think I deserved a slap in the face. But okay. Obviously, they thought I did. And if they, however, thought they were doing like a challenge with a glove to slap me in the face, I don't like PvP, so nice try. And Net wants to know if there are any more questions. Yes, real questions, folks. Questions about this. Inquiring minds want to know. Do you have real questions about combat and his rules of combat, which I actually found to be really well thought out. I'm just saying. Not that I think I have the skill to apply most of them, but you're supposed to know yourself, right? And I know that I'm really not very good at combat. But what I do know is the lesson about make friends, not enemies, works really well for me. because I make friends, and they can be big and bad and tough and scary. And then when I need to go somewhere that's big and bad and tough and scary, they go and beat up all the big, bad, scary monsters for me. And I just heal them. So that totally works. That's my strategy. Yes, Gaelis says that if Ned is missing from the next lesson, then she will teach us how to decorate. Specifically addressing Kazan. And Bambino says that we should have this be a recurring thing every release as we get new players, which is an awesome idea. But it's being recorded so people can view it there. I don't know where. I would love to tell you where to view the recording, but they have not told me yet. Roper says he is not big or bad. He's a lover, not a fighter. Ask his wife. Aww, that's adorable. I might have to friend you. Yeah, I like the guys that are nice and talk sweet about their wives. That's always a bonus. On YouTube, you can do a search for Arianna, Arianna, probably adding the, Sota or Shroud of the Avatar to that, and you should come up with the video recording of this class, and maybe even the heretofore coming next kind of classes to follow, as this is a 4-part curriculum. I don't know that really applies, so maybe not. The Fire Lotus party will be starting in 15 minutes, actually 14 minutes, and probably a few seconds less than that. So, if you guys would like, I can quit reading all of this boring chat stuff, and I can play a couple of 4 dozen songs while we wait for Fire Lotus's party. So on that note, I will thank everybody for having listened to my extremely interesting commentary. And yeah, I'm being nice to myself, go figure. I'm sure I stuttered a lot and stumbled all over my tongue because that is a mad skill that I possess. And I appreciate, in words I can't possibly express, that Net specifically asked me to commentary on this. Which I was extremely flattered and scared to death because I can't imagine why in the God's green earth they wanted me to be the commentator. But it was super sweet and kind of them to ask me, and I am just humbled a little bit to have been asked when I've only DJ'd 2 sessions before this, so I do not have mad DJ skills at this point. My DJ foo is a little weak. It's got some weak sauce, but like they said, practice makes perfect, and I'm working on that one. And so I am going to hand it over to some music from the community, starting with Charm playing Discovery. And do not forget to go to Fire Lotus's party in 12 minutes. Thanks you all for listening.